Hello again. We are continuing our discussion on leadership. Today's topic is group leadership. Previously, we discussed individual leadership. Now we're going to broaden that topic and talk about group leadership. Examples of a group might be a family, your friends, co-workers, people at a club, or at church, or any group you're associated with. An important part of individual leadership is the ability to set goals and to know your purpose, as we discussed previously. In order to set up a group goal, the leader must include others in the process. There must be cooperation, help, support, and input from everyone. That is imperative. If you are unsure how to get the process started, look for examples in the Bible, such as when Jesus was walking along and saw 4 fishermen casting their nets into the lake for fish. They brought their boat to the shore, and Jesus said, "Come, follow me." They stopped what they were doing and followed Jesus. Jesus then chose a man who was a tax collector. Jesus said to him, "Come, follow me." He immediately got up and followed Jesus. Jesus handpicked his 12 disciples. He observed each one's skills and talents, and then specifically chose each one. Jesus knew they would become future leaders as he gathered the 12 together. Jesus' leadership style was the classic model in which he led and his disciples followed. As a leader, Jesus had a good attitude. Next, he built relationships with the disciples, which was essential. If you want to succeed in your goals, you also need to establish relationships with people within your group. That is vital. You should also have great dialogue with plenty of give and take and input from everyone in your group. You must have good relationships with people, and those within the group must clearly understand your goal. Roles also need to be clearly defined, so each member understands their role within the group. That will strengthen your group. Once you've established relationships, it is easier to move forward and accomplish your goal. There are many different ways in which you can build relationships. Let me give you an example. You all have family, friends, or coworkers that you spend time with and see every day. You share things that happen in your life with each other. You are open and share your hopes and dreams and other parts of yourself with those around you. Those are the people you can share your goals with and encourage to join your plan to win. W-I-N. W stands for wanted. You must make others in your group feel wanted. If they feel they can do what is asked of them, they will be persuaded to join you. I stands for important. You must make people feel important. If you can do that, you will succeed. Let them know they are important. Encourage them to join you. They will feel positive and want to follow your lead. N stands for needed. You must make people feel needed. If a person feels you need them, then he or she will want to join you. So to win, first you must make people feel wanted. Second, important. Third, you must make people feel needed. W-I-N. That's how you can win. As a group, you can look at all the examples Jesus provides for group leadership. One example is when Jesus told Peter, "On you I will build my church." Peter felt good to be called as a leader among the group. As Jesus looked toward the future, he knew he would be crucified and then be raised again 2 days later to walk among his disciples before he ascended into heaven. Jesus' teachings could have faded away and not continued. That did not happen because Jesus knew how to make the disciples feel good about their purpose and their goal. They each had specific skills and talents that were needed. Jesus wanted them to carry on with his teachings. He told them they must go and establish churches. They discussed among themselves how they could establish churches and spread the message of Jesus. That is how Jesus' teachings have spread around the world from then until today. Relationships are very important. Jesus understood that. He knew it was really important to talk to the disciples, to teach them, and to establish relationships with them. When Jesus preached, children would come up to him. Leaders would try to stop the children and not allow them to bother him. But Jesus said, "Stop. Let the children come to me." Jesus built relationships with all people, whether they were rich or poor, important or unimportant. As a leader, you should follow Jesus' example in establishing relationships with all kinds of people. Some people only want to have a relationship with people who are rich or smart, who have expensive clothes, or who are handsome or important. That is wrong. You should follow Jesus' example and accept all people. Jesus sat down with lepers, with people who were deaf, and with those who were blind, and with sinners. It didn't matter who they were or what they had done. Jesus associated with liars, fools, thieves, and prostitutes. He sat down and ate with them. He talked with them, and he taught them. The leaders of the town were surprised that Jesus was an expert at answering everyone. So, in the same way, if you have a goal that you want to expand exponentially to a large group of people, start by establishing relationships. Build a strong central core of people, and then expand outward by teaching others. How do you teach others? That is very important. You must equip others by mentoring them and sharing your knowledge and skills with them. Let me share an example. Churches are structured in many different ways. Some churches have one pastor who does all the preaching, while the congregation sits back and listens. That is their preference. Other churches have many different pastors who rotate or take turns preaching, which is that church's preference. One is not better than the other. There are different church models. Equipping others in the church might mean that a pastor recognizes preaching skills in another person and asks that person to come forward and preach. Often the person is hesitant, thinking he lacks the necessary skills. However, you must continue to encourage, model, and teach others. This is equipping others and preparing them for the future. Once a person is equipped, he or she can then teach someone else. Another example might be at a club, where the president normally presides over the meeting. Equip the vice president by encouraging and allowing that person to take over control and run the meeting. Seize the opportunity to teach others how to run a meeting, and then sit back and let someone else take the reins. Another example of equipping others might be within your own family. When the family gathers together for Thanksgiving or any other holiday, and it comes time for the prayer, offer the opportunity to one of your children. Model the skills while everyone folds their hands and bows their head. The same is true when equipping leaders. By encouraging and teaching others how to lead, you are equipping them with the skills to go forth and equip more new leaders for the future. It is very important that you are prepared internally and are knowledgeable before you can equip others. An example can be found in how Jesus taught people around him. Some were amazed and shocked at his teachings because, as we read in Matthew chapter 7, verse 29, he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of their law. Teaching with authority means that you are prepared and have the necessary knowledge, and you're confident. Jesus taught with authority because God gave him knowledge of the law to teach others. When you gather your team together, it is important that you have the knowledge and skills to train other people how to teach. Then, if a situation occurs sometime in the future, the team will already be experienced. They will be able to equip and teach others. It is most important that you teach your team how to teach others. That is critical. This is called teamwork. The Bible is full of different examples that show how different people were leaders and how they worked together as a team. One example is Moses. When God chose Moses to lead his people out of Egypt, he sent Moses' brother Aaron with him to speak for him. And they confronted Pharaoh to let the Jewish people go. And Pharaoh relented and let them leave. In the book of Judges, there was a woman by the name of Deborah, who was the commander over a group of soldiers. They fought as a team against an opposing army near Mount Tabor. Deborah's soldiers destroyed their opponents by working together as a team rather than as individuals. Take a look at yourself and examine the word me. That word is all about one person, me. Are you going to be successful and work together as a team if the focus is on me? No. Me needs to change and become we. That is very important. A team is not me, a team is we. That's how you will win. If you ask for God's help and have a relationship with Him and with your team, your group will progress toward your goal. Whether it is with a family, friends, your church, your community, deaf people's rights, or whatever, it is important that you work together as a team and that you ask God to be involved and to help you. By establishing relationships, by training and equipping others, and by working together as a team toward the same goal, you will be successful. Using this model, many other people will also become equipped to lead. Seize the opportunity and contemplate how to teach other people. Study the Bible to learn how to move forward. Pray, asking God to guide you and your team and to teach you. God will show you how to lead. Study His Word and discuss what He says with others. You will become a successful leader.